A quick ride, Papa. Well, you're gonna stay here watching the house. You're gonna stay here. We're gonna run. Run to the store right quick. Usually I'm going to the gun range. I don't think y'all want to go there with me, so I always take this with me. I mean, this is what I take with me. Where I live at, we're legal. And besides that, we don't care about the NFA, nor the ATF with their foreign, lying, no good, unconstitutional behinds. So I'm not here for that. This is how I travel. You feel me? This is how I travel. All the time. Trying to unarm us. Oh, motherfuckers. We're not standing for it. You should be playing, Papa. I'll be right back. I would take you, but I don't want to put you in the cage. So I'm gonna go for a ride. Be right back, Papa. Yeah, we're not feeling that. Nobody here is feeling it. We got some liberals that came here from all different states to work. And they are full of shit. Full of caca. Excuse me. I gotta work on that, guys. I really do. It's sad to have to say that. I'm far from perfect. As perfect as I am. Yeah, man. Somebody passed away and he went and collected all the guns. He's in Washington, but he's gonna stay here. He's the one I sold my four-door side by side. And what he paid for it, which actually was a lot. It was pretty expensive, the work I had done on it, but I was able to put it on a two-seater, a racer with 32-inch tires. So I'm supposed to pick that up around springtime. So it costs a lot of money too. For black and rabbit hat, yeah, I sold that to them, and I actually sold them a $2 hitch. I got my $1,200 back there with my motorcycle on it, so I'm gonna sell that too. I think I'm not riding a motorcycle ever again, so I'll take that and put it towards welding stuff or whatever, depending on where I end up at. You know, I know people with motorcycles. I don't really like riding no more with my back, so my knee. So all right, let's get this. I'm gonna turn the internet off, guys, so it might go off for a minute. Pick me up a bottle of wine. Yo, Rondo, Kawak, what's happening? The Perfect Pier, what's going on? What's cracking? Let's go wait for some other people. Lloyd, Rep Lloyd, APJR. Guys, just stay in here. We're gonna run there, grab what I gotta grab, and we're gonna come back reading. We ain't got nothing but time. All right? Nothing but time. So, there's a couple people live. I was going to wait, but some of them don't know how to go live and get off. I'm not here to prove a point. I'm here to help you guys see something different. I hope that I'm doing that. I really do. Not hope. I believe I'm doing that for those who are meant to see something. Yeah, you know, so in total, I've taken 0.25 milligrams, just two, in the days that I had to, because I had to make sure I had drank beet juice, and you know it comes out in your stool and your urine. But what happened is I believe I've become allergic to it because of the climate. Somebody who eats beets on a regular, and it's weird, over the last 5 to 6 months, whenever I have my beet juice, my body feels like it wants to go into shock. I have never had an allergy my entire life. With this physiology, you know, it's a pretty decent specimen for my age, and I can tighten it up, but it plays on my upper thoracic. Gotta remember, I was poisoning, guys. I was drowning on blood for seven days. Literally coughing up, using a box of cough to get my wind in. As if you got knocked out, you know, wind knocked out of you. You know what I'm talking about, those who know? And with that, they put me on 2 of the strongest antibiotics. And with that comes dilemmas itself. And I knew there was something else they could do, but I couldn't hardly talk. And you know these, and then that one little young thing came in there with a different look and everything. And after she came, all these foreigners come looking. And I remember saying, I remember saying, when I was picking the dirt up outside, walking the labyrinth, it's a walk, a circle of walk, a labyrinth. I was cursing any and everybody in there if they put anything foreign other than what I allowed in me. So last what I heard is one of the doctors died. Now I'm not going to get into that. I'm not here to. I did what needed to be done. And it's for any of them to make contact with me. I don't go over and over and over. I know exactly what I do and what I say, and I know what's going to come of it. That's a fact. So it's not a game. It's definitely no competition with weaklings. We have a whole lot of folk out here talking about indigenous, aboriginal, and they're weaklings. We need all the cowards out of our midst. You feel me? Oh, no hate. We just need them to stand down and stop. Or they deal with what comes. I'm running here and grab what I gotta get. You guys, watch this. I'm gonna leave you right here. Leave it running. Watch it. Quick. You don't mind. You can take a potty or whatever. My step-ups, man. This thing's too hot in the morning. You can't be kidding me, man. I had to get my wine, y'all. Wine for the weekend. I mean, I had some in the fridge, but I didn't want none cold. For those who are still here. I don't want to talk mad about people, but I just saw some women that look like dudes and Down syndrome. It's just sad. Definitely not what it was written about, the people here. And I get, go ahead. I get so sick and tired when you can go to documents, hundreds of them, and they describe the women. No. And the only women you see that within the Mongolian clans are the ones that are mixed with Negro or pale skins. When you get your little sweet behind across the street, she's just switching and about 12, 14 years old. Sad. It's no hate, it's just sad. Every time I come out, it's like I'm gonna get in and out. I don't want to be around a bunch of people I don't like it, because I know that it's not because I don't. They're all jabbed up. They're carriers. I'll check the mail tomorrow. I'm waiting on this letter with this pen. So it might be here next week, so I'm not even in a rush. I get it when I get it. And I got one more thing to finish my website, people. And what I'm going to do is what's called drop merchandise. Other than the stuff that I want to sell that I got to make. It's like $1,500 for the stuff that, as far as my merch, that you guys are going to love. And nobody, trust me. And I'm not going to give no heads up. Nobody. People have made nickel and dime off the crap that they've been selling. Like anybody, a 12-year-old could have made it. To which I used to make banners when I was 15, 16, 17 in high school. I used to make banners to go across the street for parades and stuff. So this merch, y'all gonna be like, dude, trust me. And then the stuff I saw around, you know, I told you, I actually, in 1986, I designed and one breakdancer and one on English mock necks. No pale skin did this. We wore that. And cargo pants, because that was the breakdance. I was in the military here, and I liked the whole fact of Moon-Based Alpha and those kind of movies with solid shoes, solid sneakers with and one on it. Well, come to find out, some nigga and some Negro and some pale skin stole my idea from the Navy. The military is a veteran and sold it to Nike or some subsidiary, something like that. All my family, everybody knows I created it. I actually created and one. People going, why didn't you? So I was like, you know, I created the tank screw, got renamed. The guy, an Irish Jew from Event Tech, when he was supposed to be going to Wackenhut, this big thing, I was supposed to meet him there. I had already spent about close to $600 in on my invention for the, other than the blueprints and the rough drafts and everything that I made of it. And I remember I took the originals and I mailed them up by accident and had the copies. You know, I was drinking at the time. Over in, I think, Brooklyn and the Bronx. And when I called, they said, oh, he left and he took a lot of people's stuff. So, who knows? He could have been an agent of some sort. Could have worked, you know, looking for the best stuff, you know. We're just going to take what we want. That's what they do. And the tank screw was phenomenal. I could still build one. Would it be as good? No, the material that I required, I couldn't find a way I couldn't find no material for what I needed for the strength and what was required of it. But, you know, it's gone, you know? She's going out, she's babysitting. Oh, she's parking. Oh, she must have pulled up. Let me her park. Hold on, guys. This is a sweet lady, too. Okay, she got in the park. I have to greet her. You know, elders can be anybody. And some Navajo women, I respect a lot of the older ones. It's the younger ones I have an issue with. They're kind of foolish and stupid. Like the woman I was dealing with for a very short time. Just stupid. So, tobacco pouch right here. Oh, damn. Got there. I always have to respect them. Seems like you're very busy. Hey, out there, Benny. How are you?
Just playing with the kids.
I know. Where's he at? Is he gone? Is he working somewhere far?
Yeah, he works.
I know. Is he weld? Because I know I remember I used to have to go all over the place.
He's got the 2 kids.
Right.
And he works. And
because I used to travel with Local 4. I used to have to, when I was living on the res. Remember, I used to have to go all over the place. Until I had my second back surgery. I couldn't do it no more.
Yeah, he works at the old NGS.
Okay. Yeah, he's doing good. He's doing good. Oh, shoot.
More of a mom and then a dad with the kids. So
Right.
mother and
Okay.
he's doing good.
That's good. As long as he's all right, that's what matters. Well, I'm glad to see you up and bouncing around. That's what matters. All right. Yeah, she's a sweetheart. She saw me over here one day. She's like, "Hey, baby." She said, "Hey, baby." She said what she had to say now, but when I was like, "Ah," and we greeted, and she's a wonderful lady. She's wonderful. The grandbabies are the most important thing, and she loves what I used to do on the res. She used to be like, "Hey, you make sandwiches still?" I was like, "If you need one, you let me know." So I've made her and her friends a few sandwiches because they they can't stand Subway sandwiches and all it's garbage. And I make all natural organic stuff. So. Yeah, she's a nice old lady. She's about 75. She takes good. They split up, the old man and the wife, but she's a sweetheart, y'all. Very, very nice. I adore good spirited people. I do. Whenever I meet people, if I'm wearing shades, I take them off. Your eyes are very important. Even for the liar, because he's got to fool you. And for some of us, we can see the liar. ¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué pasó? Yeah. Okay. I got like 4 beers, bro. I can't drink them, so I'm gonna give them to you. Yeah, I don't like beer, bro. I don't like none of that crap no more. He doesn't speak a lot of English, yo. I understand him, but he doesn't really speak English. Back from the door. You can't run out. Come on now. Gotta be slick, bro. Why they got this Christmas on my carriage thing, man? All right, so I got my wine. I'm gonna crack one and have me a sip. Just a little sip. I can't drink a lot. I gotta put the other one away. Yes, sir. Oh, trust me, I don't need to travel with you guys. But let me tell you something about being overseas and being in the world. All right, I'm gonna explain something to you. Less than a fraction of a second, everything can. Trust me. Let me get my wine glass, and we're gonna get this going, guys. All right, good music. I always take 2. Though I got 15 in the back seat of the truck, and I got more than enough. And Rondo and them can vouch for it. I got body armor upstairs, and I got the other one in the back of the truck too, and helmets. Well, let's see. Woo! Yes, sir. I'm gonna let that warm up a little more. yeah, I figured I might as well do Mr. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Would you be my neighbor? If I can wean the goops out, I'll keep them out. I have nothing nice to say to the goops until they come around. Put this up in a little bit. Oh wow, I still had one down here. Oh snap, I forgot, y'all. Room temperature ain't nothing like it. And it has breathed long. Come and join me, my religious, super religious brethren, kindred. I'm about to read. No, I know you like wine, but you can't have this. It's got a lot of iron in it. And it's 7 point something, very, very strong. It's 12.5% alcohol. Isn't that like, what was it, 4.3? Oh, he's like 5. Oh, it's, yeah, 2 glasses and I'll be like that. You think I smoke something? You ought to see me flying the drone. I get the twigs, right? Ain't that right, Bubba? You know he's right there, right? That's right, that's my Bubba. Cleanest cat in the world. That's right. Right. So read. I have to do this when I drink wine. Y'all don't see me doing this, so maybe you haven't. He loves the smell of onion. He got a lot of me in him. You know what I'm saying? Like my traits and we almost look like. Yes, we do. I got your treats, all right? Plenty of them. All right. Say hi, y'all. Just reading one. Why you gotta play with the plastic? He's gotta play with the plastic bag, y'all. Let's go right into reading. I'm warming my food up too. What y'all saw me this morning having was raw fruits and vegetables because I'm down to 202 pounds. Before I get to 198, when I start having a lot of soreness and stuff, it's just the way it is. Back surgery, knee surgery, it does that to you. I have to cross the brink. So right now I am taking a lot of cold baths and showers to shock my system. And it's working. I dance around, jump around like a jumping Mexican man. I do. But I love the cold. Look, you can love something and you know you get on a roller coaster and you love it, but the little drop thing, I've done that like 4 times. I never passed out by looking at everybody else to see who passed out so I can try and take a picture because I don't drop nothing. But with the cold showers, I'm the same way. And then I'm just in there like, whoo, and when I turn around and hit the back, whoo, child. And you know, and besides that, it's fun to do that. I mean, I can get in there and be like this. Be all sociopathic. It's cold, so what? No, I enjoy the dancing. Let's get this on. Silver, and you know what that is, right? Very old. Belongs to a grandmammy, Navajo woman. A good woman. Christian, but a good woman. For men and women. Oh man. All right, let's get into this. Woo! That's strong. Make sure it ain't vinegary. That's good. Vinegar's good. Don't get wrong. Let's turn this on a little more. So it's good. We're gonna run through the whole thing. Hit the land of Mars, Heaven's Bearers, and we know we're close now to some certain points. And I said what I said in a minute. If somebody's disturbed by what I said earlier, run and tell that and see what it gets you. Yeah, I said I work. You can call it magic or whatever. Test it. Try it. Run and tattletale. Run and think you're going to subvert something and make something else. Give it a run. Try it. I meant what I said. Y'all like to watch a lot of people going, ha, rah, 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 and get nothing out of it. Nothing. If you want me to speak about history, then I'll tell you or teach you about some history. I always drop something. And then people run with it and they do the research and they go, oh, snap. I don't sit around fishing all day. I have this information and tons more. That's why when I see people talk about stuff, I go like this. Well, I know where you got that from, but you didn't do the research. Anyway, it's not a game. So anyway, do y'all recall where we were at? Well, we finished at the ancient lands of Anak, right? Yet, on the next of it, we were looking at the lands of Mars. Chapter 5, the ship of repentant ones, right? But we need to finish here. And this is the lands of Mars, a little lower, right? I know it's good background music. I think the battle music is better. This is the land of Mars, 178 worlds under the Great Dome. I think there's 2 more chapters. Iridiana human colony. So that is where we're at right now. So this is, all right, human colony, Iridiana, all right? In that area, which a lot of young ladies' names were at one time. Other notes were kept in the archives of the Republic, such as the structure of its buildings, the technology that was developed there, and some experiments, such as the continuation of the Philadelphia experiment. I read this, but we want to finish it off. A writing was found on the ship. Among his notes about the majestic paradisiacal view of area. The sky here glimpses the sight of visitors. All the shared serenity. Time seems to be a faithful reflection of the ancients who once reigned. Their fields of the brightest green and full of life, who could inhabit these lands in the most peaceful way and populate with their eternal love, watching their children grow. Wow. And to think that the original ones committed mass suicide, and the few that fled, they came here. Anyway, and that's all I'm gonna say to that. And they're powerful compared to you. You choose not to be what you are supposed to be. Chapter 5, the ship of repentance ones. Not repentant, repentance. The language we speak, this language is broken. Ones. One day of heavy rain where not many dared to walk through the great streets of the ancestral republic. An unknown vessel was sighted by the Naval Guard in conjunction with the ISDT. In parentheses, that's the Intelligence Service and Detection Technology. And for those times, it was not at all common to spot any kind of vessel that seemed to be going aimlessly and practically crashing into our shores. The storm, I think, forced them to stop on their way and find our lands. To our entire concern, we feared that it could be a strategy of the parasitic races to attack our lands, being survivors, escape from their yoke, and also face them in a bloody past war. We could not afford to receive unknown ships without asking. We were certainly prepared to attack in case of being some kind of custodial trap. It was a moment of extreme tension of all the personnel there. Several men and women looked out, and we could make out the silhouettes raising their arms. Here go the idiots. On their arms under the intense rain of thunder and lightning. Their ship stopped in our port, and they were received by naval officers. A man introduced himself to them, stating that his ship came from the lands of Mars, and that they were children of the human colony that escaped with uncertain destiny, but that they were tired of the conflicts with other races that were being unleashed there. They would get tired here if we started fighting back. You scared to die? Can't y'all make babies? After rigorous examinations and being received by the President of the Republic and the members of defense along with other leaders, it was possible to obtain much information that had been previously ascertained with the trip of Captain Rold. Also, their versions reported that the captain had been killed in cold blood, as they had been aware as soon as they landed on their shores, and a planned attack was carried out to kill the entire group, but that the team responded with technology they had not seen before and were able to retreat. Other stories were also shared by the group before departing, again with uncertain destination, or perhaps for safety's sake. They did not want to say. The lands of Mars are a living paradise that could have had another destination. a magnificent future of peace and harmony. Its flora and fauna are unique and keep the most intrinsic mysteries of nature. Surely we will have more stories of those distant lands that must be rescued from. The same dirty hands that got in the way of destiny of many of the races, as well as the circle environment of the 178 worlds under this great dome. Chapter 6, The Portal Hidden on Mars. There is a portal that was, land of Mars is right next to the land of Seth, which is the Anunnaki. Sea of Horus. The Sea of Horus, Anunnaki land of Seth. There is a portal that was shown to the first humans who set foot on the lands of Mars. At least humans of the past reset. The portal was old and had ceased to be used, but nevertheless, they believed it was still dangerous to manipulate it. For that reason, it was shown to humans as a learning to stay away from the forces that surround it. In fact, if humans, were kept at a relatively close distance, it generated several health problems, exhaustion, dizziness, and other symptoms that also forced them to stay away from it. But according to the writings of the custodians, this distance was not always respected, and the following happened. Now, in parentheses, it states, the following writing was incorporated into our history files and modified for your understanding. Some parts are verbatim, but the complete file is stored separately. End of parentheses. There are thousands of interconnecting portals that transfer matter from one side to the other, but many of them are old and obsolete. Unfortunately, it is common for some beings to find them and try to use them and end up in the worst way. There are reported cases of beings that have disappeared or were never found, were never even found, or even found in distant continents with great health problems, or where they are no longer the same, turned inside out and all that kind of stuff. Chapter 7, The Dark Membrane, information behind the Great Dome. So there is something out there. They don't mess with it or attempt to go beyond it. How they don't even know how to deal with the things that are right here. From 1082, Custodian reports, in the year of the reorganization of some colonies in the 7th period of the first land membrane, ARB 2004, Mars lands, the natives of the colony, second membrane, ARB 201, known lands, of the 6th period, and others formed from the lands themselves, penetrated the forbidden forest on the shores of Samaria, breaking, the first treaty carried out by the leaders of a whole, while the P88 portal gate had been discontinued for the reasons explained above, referring to the disappearance of personnel between matter transfer, finding no reference point, losing all communication with whereabouts unknown to date, human beings versus stem cells were found in cities of ARB 013 and Anunnaki lands, and wandering in a neutralized form, robotic, aimless, mechanized, and that's in parentheses. The same were detained outside the Temple of Ubaid, and their subsequent transfer for investigation. It was observed HOS, which is high oxidative stress that derived to other degenerative processes and vital organs. Their material was kept for the process of exhaustive studies, since this could somehow give us an answer about the missing personnel in various transfer processes. We also put on record the contribution requested to the H1 Orion race, the Greys, that had the important genetic material of humans of the 5th and 6th generation of the same periods, in order to be able to establish fundamental parameters in their study. The result of the whereabouts of our personnel in conjunction with the Anunnaki race, is still unknown, and we have not detected differential matter inside the Great Dome, nor in the surrounding areas of the dark membrane. In parentheses, it states, possible lands outside the Great Dome. Possible. And We will continue to add to this form all information relevant to the personnel and equipment lost in transfers, as well as what occupies the dark membrane, which can clarify and understand the communications that have been carried out in various processes of research and exploration in the surrounding areas. We have found several references to the dark membrane and all the information gathered by the trustees of what can be found in a possible crossing of the Great Dome. We will be adding relevant information about this in the following chapters. So, Ribos de esto autor is notes with all the whatever. So, that's in. Those 3 books are done. And there's supposed to be 1 or 2 more coming out because I'm always asking questions, and hopefully he prints them out soon. Heaven Bearers, The Great Reset of 1834 and the Mud Flood. Janine Helen. You know, I got a short face. There she is in South Africa. Woo! Chapter 13. We read a whole chapter yesterday. I was boggled by that myself. Let me turn this heat off. This is hot. And it's only on 73. Jeez. No, are you kidding me? Hold on, Papa. There we go. There we go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I just got all right, so you saw it. She's pretty cocky by now. Chapter 13. Please, we are the only survivors of Plurth, and we bow down to you. You are our masters, and we are exhausted and hungry and are merely looking for kindness and a helping hand. Azrael can sense the kindness in the Tartarians, and he knows they will be easy to conquer. The best way to collapse a mighty empire is from the inside, he tells himself. The Tartarians clothe and feed them, tend to their wounds and make them feel at home. It doesn't make them a month before they try to overthrow King Fen by trying to bribe the general with endless riches. Tartarians have no want or need for riches. Sir, now go back to your quarters and prepare your departure. You have overstayed your welcome. And General Jokiel is angry at their lack of respect for their new host country and wants to expel them at once. The Earthbearers know they cannot overthrow the entire Tartarian Empire on their own. Their army spans the entire Earth and consists of 1 billion fighting-age men. I never read this, y'all. This is something I've known for a long time. I've never read this. I'm reading this with you. Yeah, well, yo, go and leave. Go listen to those people yelling and screaming. This is not for everybody. These men are fully armed and have been in training from the tender age of 10 years. 10 years. Some of y'all just grew up and became something because you got booties or you worked out, played some sports. You ain't never really been in a fight, but you carry a big mouth stick. The Earth Bearers are no match for them, and they know that they need to infiltrate their ranks and overthrow them if they are to gain control of Earth and the Empire. Infiltrating the Tartarians proves to be very difficult. King Fen and General Jokiel do not trust them and won't let them out of their sight. They also cannot leave Earth and look for another host country because the crack in the firmament is no longer open and there is no means to open it. And they call it the Milky Way, y'all. That is from and some of the fake Cherokee story is called the Comet and Longtail. Of course, a comet, something that fell to the Earth. A longtail that seamed itself. It's worse than that. It was by destructive forces, the tear in our membrane, in which they attempted high jump to explode and crack it open again, so more of them could come in that way before they built this CERN. And they had y'all believing 2 or 3 running. They got 8 of them running. Anyway, King Fen endeavors to have a word with Mother Nature. He needs to explain to her what is happening and that they are all in grave danger. Only she can open the firmament and expel their common enemy. He climbs the tree of life with Queen Ariella, and they reach the canopy with warm and open hearts. The air is thin and cold up here, but it is peaceful, and the only sound is that of Mother Nature contemplating their visit. Have we not agreed that I cannot open the firmament? It is not for me to do. My only purpose is to keep the earth healthy and strong, as I have done for thousands of years. Queen Ariella moves away from King Finn and bows down on one knee as a sign of respect and to show how serious the situation truly is. The creatures we fear that they cannot be trusted and will destroy the harmony, the trust that we have shared with one another for over thousands of years. They do not belong here. They do not come in peace. I can feel it, she says, in hopes Mother Nature will understand. Queen Ariella, you have always been such a kind and forgiving soul. Do you not perhaps think you are overreacting? These creatures are refugees. They have nowhere to go and have lost all they once had. This is their new home now, and we ought to welcome them openly. King Finn wants to argue, but the queen grabs his hand and gives it a gentle squeeze. I used to do that. Very well, Mother Nature. We will return to the ground at once and make our guests feel welcome and integrate them into their new home. Ariella knows this is a mistake, but what other choice do they have? Mother Nature will not open the firmament, and this is the only way out for any living soul living on Earth. The king and queen make their way down to the ground and can't help but know something sinister is being planned behind their backs, and they know they don't have long now until they will need to fight. King Finn needs to speak to General Jokiel immediately upon his return to inform him about what was discussed with Mother Nature. A war is coming. I need to keep looking like I'm reading, right? A war is coming and we need to prepare. Mother Nature can't. She won't open the firmament, and these disgusting creatures will destroy everything we have worked so hard to preserve. We can't let that happen, he says, and his face is strained. General Jokiel sits in his big beige leather chair, dressed in his war attire, and licks his lips. It was just uniforms. What a pity. It looks like we call Chinese clothing kung fu suits. No, it's just regular clothing. It looks different from what you wear. What a pity. It looks like we will have to go to war then, my king. He says sarcastically and starts picking at the leather on the chair with his fingers. I don't want war. I will not put my men in harm's way without at least considering an alternative. I task you with talking to these creatures and finding a calm and fair way forward. King Finn looks around the room. He feels the air on his neck stand up, and he knows something is wrong. As you wish, my king, Jokiel replies and waits for the king to leave the room. The king leaves the room at once and in a hurry and rushes back to his home to check on his family. He rips open the door and calls out for Ariella. Get the children, we need to leave at once, he shouts, and his voice carries into every room. There is no response, and he walks toward the kitchen and looks inside, but it is empty, and he proceeds to check the lounge. Ariella, he calls, and checks each and every room in the house. It is too quiet. Where is everyone? Where's the laughter of the girls, he wonders. He sees a note on the floor, and he picks it up and takes a deep breath before he reads it. We are out of time. He hears footsteps approach him, and he turns around thinking it might be Ariella, but it is not. It is Azrael, and he is boastful and grinning. He looks around the house, and his eyes admire the workmanship and detail put into its construction. King Finn, I am so sorry to inform you, but your dear wife Ariella is dead. And you see, she had a little accident, he says as he runs his fingers over the wall as he walks around the room, making sure to keep his distance from the king. King Finn raises his staff and activates his energy and postures himself in battle-ready position. My wife is not dead. I can still feel her. Now, take me to her at once, you wretched creature. He commands and raises his staff up high as a sign of authority. Azrael reaches for the staff and, to his shock and amazement, manages to rip it out of his hand, and he throws it to the floor. The blue light immediately disappears, and the king knows his time has arrived. How? The king is on his knees and is begging for his life and that of his family. Azrael leans over and whispers into his ear, "You can thank Mother Nature," he says, and as he breathes heavily into his face, King Fin pulls his face away from the angel of death and stares at the portrait of his beautiful family, knowing that one day they will be reunited. Azrael slowly walks up to the king, relishing every moment, now that he is the alpha dog, and takes his crusty hand, forces it into the king's mouth, and forcefully climbs into his new host. The body of the king falls to the floor and starts to convulse uncontrollably. Then it is suddenly still. He sits up and looks around the room to orientate himself. He licks his lips and can still taste the fear on them from the king and adjusts himself gently inside his new body. This is a great fit, he thinks to himself, although the host is quite feisty, and he walks over to the mirror to look at his new reflection. He adjusts the belt on his attire slightly and admires himself. "This is your best look yet," Samira says as he walks out of the former home of King Fin, and she is smiling eagerly in her new body. Azrael grins and breathes in the fresh air. He feels strong and powerful, and he can't wait to conquer them all. These Tartarians are no longer a fighting force, and this earth is now ours. Round up the dissidents and let us have some fun, he says, and they begin to laugh sadistically in unison. Bonnie hears her name and awakens from her intense dream. She has tears in her eyes and wipes them away with the back of her hands. All this is within her DNA, people. Bonnie, she hears her name again and looks towards the back of the train. She doesn't see anyone she recognizes. She tells herself she is merely imagining it and looks out of the window, feeling an immense sorrow for her people and what was done to them. How could Mother Nature betray them so easily, and for creatures she did not even know? Bonnie! She hears her name again. This time the voice is louder, and she looks towards the back of the train, and she sees a hand sticking up from around the corner, waving at her and trying to get her attention. She gets up cautiously from her seat and takes a deep breath. "I need one myself. This could be dangerous. Be on your guard," she tells herself as she slowly walks down the aisle. She slowly peeks around the corner and is surprised by who she sees hiding with a coat covering his face. "Henry?" she says, with big eyes and surprise on her face, and immediately drops down to next to him. "Shh, be quiet and don't call me that." He looks around the room and moves his old blue coat back over his face. "What is going on and why are you here? Are you following me?" She watches his eyes carefully. "Just know there is no point in lying to me. I can do things now." It's cocky. Anyway, no, you don't, not yet. "I know, I have heard. You have become a monster, Bonnie." He snaps and immediately regrets what he just said. Her eyes move down and looks at her feet in shame. "I had no choice. It was me or them, Henry." "I know, Bonnie. I am sorry. That is not what I meant," he replies and gives her hand a gentle squeeze. "Anyway, I am headed to Edmonton to join the resistance. Jane sold out. I don't know how exactly, but she can't be trusted. Malcolm went to Asia, apparently to slaughter a whole bunch of Samira's Phoenicians. I don't know the full story, but things are getting out of control. We need to put a stop to them." "How?" "There is nothing we can do. They overthrew the entire Tartarian Empire, in case you have forgotten." "I know," he sighs and starts to cough. "We need to be extra careful now, Bonnie. There are very few we can trust." Excuse me. You understand what I am saying?" She nods and pulls the coat from his face. "When last have you eaten, Henry? I know I am hungry and you look just as hungry." She can tell by his lack of an answer that it has been a while. "Stay here. I am going to get us some food." She gets up slowly and starts to walk through each aisle looking for something with water and food. It is a cool Sunday afternoon. The bedroom window is open and the curtains are swaying gently from the breeze. I love those days. He can hear the golden clock above the fireplace tick, and he finds it relaxing. He found it in a severely mud flood affected mansion in Paris 8 years ago and brought it home with him. The mansion was exquisite, but it had to unfortunately be demolished. There was too much damage caused by the mud flood, and nothing could be done to restore it. He always wondered who lived in it. The family had wonderful taste, and he would have liked to meet them. The weight of the mud had unfortunately made it structurally unsound, but he remembers that day well. He met Ara that day, and she was just walking around the streets and got terribly lost. It was him who introduced her to Rune. There is a soft knock at the door, and it interrupts his thought. Yes, Jane? I apologize for the intrusion, Mr. Harrington. Mr. and Mrs. Harrington are downstairs in the sunroom. He sits up on the bed, all surprised. Was I expecting them? He asked. No, they arrived. I hate pop-ups. Anyway, they arrived unannounced, she answers coyly. Well, in that case, he wants her to tell them to leave, but he reminds himself he needs to act natural, as if Bonnie running away isn't bothering him in the least. This is Malcolm. Tell them I will be right down. Thank you, Jane. Jane is secretly meeting up with Hollow. Lisa and Waal show up unannounced. Yeah, Jane is secretly meeting up with Hollow. Lisa and Waal show up unannounced. Coincidence? He wonders. He shakes his head, gets up from the bed, and fixes his hair. There is no such thing as a coincidence, a quinky-dink. He mutters and wishes that in that very moment, Bonnie was lying naked on his bed. Here we go. He imagines walking up to her, tickling her back, and giving her soft kisses. It's the kind of shit I like to do, while she lies there with a big smile on her face. It's good stuff. He splashes some water onto his face, and it brings him back to reality. He stands in front of his mirror for a few seconds and practices his nonchalant smile. I'm not going to see him now. And then hurries downstairs. Lisa and Waal. What a surprise, he says, and greets each of them like he always does. A good one, I hope. She smiles and watches his expression carefully. Of course, I am always happy to see my parents. I had a 3 for a loop. I had the same last name. He gives her a soft smile back and exposes his teeth just slightly. Jane walks in and brings them all some coffee and shortbread biscuits. I apologize for the lack of cake today, Mr. Harrington. He grabs a biscuit and ignores her. Why am I yawning? So how are things in Philadelphia? Malcolm asks and leans back into his chair with his usual amount of arrogance. Great. We were just thinking we haven't been here in a while. We heard about Bonnie running off. It was such a shock to us all. She places her hand over her chest and tries her hardest to be genuine. You know, that we heard about Bonnie. You know, I've seen that too much too. Dana, super Karen. I don't know where she is. Here they go. I'm live, man. I'm going to smack so many people in the head. I don't know where she is, and as you can see, I am not out looking for her. I will find another one. Make sure to tell him that. He takes a sip of his coffee. Y'all are some disobedient. His eyes are burning and a fierce green. He would much rather leap over the table and snap her neck with that arrogant little grin she has permanently plastered to her face. It won't kill her, but she will know just how much he really doesn't like her. She is his mother on paper. Someone had to take care of him, and Azrael was not going to but she has always hated him deep down inside her. Hollow was the perfect choice. What does Azrael want to know? He asks and takes another biscuit from the table. William puts his hand on her shoulder as a gesture for him to take over the conversation. Where do you think the girl went? Do you know about Rune and Ara? He asks and watches him cautiously, knowing full well that it is impossible to read his mind. Azrael already knows the answer to both of those questions. I didn't hide my thoughts from him. So, on whose behalf are you asking? It is clearly not his, he replied sarcastically. Waal is startled by how he is able to sense the situation so well and realizes it is better that they leave immediately. You know what? It is not important. He quickly helps Lisa up and tries to leave the room. Malcolm walks up to them and places his hand across. Oh, I love that I can read this all night. I'm not going to. Across the door frame. Answer my question, Waal. Malcolm is stronger than either of them, and both of them, he is the son of Queen Ariella and the Angel of Death. Their only child and son. Kismet and Samira, they want to know. I don't know why, he says reluctantly, and keeps his eyes fixed on the way out of the room and away from Malcolm. Malcolm drops his arm and lets them hurry out of the front door. They almost trip over one another in absolute fear of the son. Kismet and Samira, what on earth do they want? He is talking to himself and can see Jane hiding behind the door, eavesdropping again like she normally does. Jane, please come here. His voice is calm and relaxed. He enjoys scaring Waal and Lisa, and it makes him oddly happy inside. Jane hurries inside with an awkward smile on her face. Yes, Mr. Harrington. What does Harlow want? The same thing as Lisa and Waal, perhaps. It's pronounced different, but I'm just going to say Lisa with two E's. She wants to lie, but knows there is no point. Yes, I think, and this is purely speculation, but I think they want to overthrow Azrael. He has become too powerful, and they know if they don't stop him soon, he will take over their countries too. He will become the new and sole ruler of the great Tartarian Empire. You are probably right, but no one can stop him. Not me, not them, not even all six of them together. He pauses briefly and glares at her. They know they are not strong enough, so what do they have planned? The girl? She catches herself and blushes in shame for her lack of respect to Mr. Malcolm. What I mean is Bonnie, perhaps, she asks timidly. He pauses and looks at her. The girl. He gives off a sarcastic and defeated laugh. Shit. You think Bonnie can stop him? He starts to laugh harder. You know. Now, this is even more absurd than the six of them potentially stopping him. Evil like him doesn't die, Jane. He sits down and feels defeated and lost. He doesn't know what to think. He wonders where she is, though. He has tried to hear her, see her in his mind, but she has blocked him out. It is probably for the best. He can't risk knowing where she is. I think it is best you stay away from Harlow from now on, or you will join Henry and the rest of your brethren in the underneath. I want you to write to Miss Estes tomorrow. I need another wife. It's about to get Rickety Rickshaw. Oh man, it's about to get that Chinese connection, Bruce Lee and the old goofy guy with the glasses, and he turns around, you know, before he went in there, slap, all everybody throwing everybody. Yeah, you know, Wayne. Yeah, this is about to get bookity. Pretty good so far. I hope so. So in here, we're going to read just one chapter of Exposing the Expositions, 1851-1950, revised edition. Howdy, Mikowski. I'm so happy you did do a revised, and you still need to pay attention to. I know that some people, books I've written, they're coming and watching. Your punctuations, you need to go back and correct them. But I am truly enjoying this, and this can last with about several other books I want. So I'm going to read. When I say a chapter, I'm talking about like a page. That's all I'm going to read, instead of doing what I was doing. And that way we can keep it rolling forward. And here we are at Fires. No World's Fair can be, this is by Howdy Mikowski. That's Chicago at the What's Called Hall, okay? No World's Fair can be complete without fires destroying many of the buildings, and Chicago was no exception. The first fire took place during the fair in the cold storage building on July 17th, 1893, excuse me. This building was basically a giant refrigerator to keep cold all of the meat that was being used in the fair's restaurants. It was so large that the middle was able to be turned into a giant skating rink, perhaps the first such indoor rink in the world. 1893 people. The building required a 200-foot iron chimney to run the refrigeration units, but designers believed that the smokestack would clash with the fair's other buildings. To remedy this, a wooden tower topped with a decorative cupola was built around the chimney that made it a fire hazard. There was nothing wrong with it. They knew what they were doing. The stupid ass gringos. When the fire broke out, it was quickly put out, lizards or whatever you want to call them, put out by firefighters. On July 10th, a new fire, much larger, broke out. 20 firefighters responded. Due to the great amount of smoke, they were forced to climb to the top of the tower and became trapped. With no other option, as the tower was seconds away from burning down, a few were able to slide down burning fire hoses and rope safely. 13 remained trapped, and most jumped to their deaths. And in parentheses, it states, in front of the thousands of witnesses of the fair end. An estimated 50,000 fairgoers witnessed the fire, some with a bird's eye view from the top of the Ferris wheel. Initially, the crowd was cheering on the firefighters, but they soon fell silent as they jumped. The fire department later reported, never was so terrible a tragedy witnessed by such a sea of agonized faces. But they won't tell you who the firefighters were. The first fire following, just like the original police. I'm glad some people have been paying attention and digging up old things, showing there's even a movie out. What is it called? It's a Western. That's right, with Clint Eastwood. And his cattle was stolen and $800 worth, and all the police officers, besides the mayor, who's some slack-jawed, pale skin, all the police officers are us. If you don't believe me, do the research. The fire department later reported never was so terrible a tragedy witnessed by such a sea of agonized faces. The first fire following the end of the exposition came in January 1894. 3 months after the fair had ended, thousands may have witnessed the fire as well. At least, it seems that way from the standard historical sources. However, Bancroft's book lists 2 fires happening in 1894, this one in January and another in June. I have found no other source, and I'm almost finished with this part right here because I want to save the next 3. No other source that present there being 2 fires, only the one in January. What Bancroft provides as information for 2 fires gets combined by history to one event. What does seem certain is that in January, the entire Court of Honor and many of the buildings around it went up in flames. The fire started in the casino, destroyed that building, then swept northward along the peristyle into Music Hall. From there, it ran across and into the manufacturer's building. For 3 hours, the flames raged along the past end of the Court of Honor until nothing was left but charred timbers and blackened plaster. A shower of sparks fell upon the ice in the lagoon until it looked like a sea of fire. They fell upon the adjacent buildings, threatening them with destruction. It was a magnificent spectacle that drew ceaseless exclamations of wonder and awe from the spectators that crowded the grounds in the vicinity of the fire. It was the greatest pyrotechnic display of the fair. The cause of the blaze was claimed to be tramps who had been hanging around the fair after it had closed down. Bizarrely, this is what the Chicago Tribune wrote, and I have to read this. Trains were loaded down with throngs of excited people on their way to witness the great conflagration. And they poured through the gates of the park as rapidly as the guards permit. And after all, only a small proportion of those who applied was admitted. Nevertheless, the grounds in the neighborhood of the fire was thronged with people. But they were people of, though better, class. And their behavior was perfect. There was no noise, impeccable. No tumult, no disorder, that's tumultuous. No disorder, no disturbance of property. Everything was quiet and solemn and decorous. Every person's judgment to be that the destruction of the buildings by fire was the best possible solution of the question of what be done with them. Long before the climax was reached, thousands of people had walked back home. At the very moment, Manufacturers Building had caught thousands of people without the least excitement were leaving the grounds for home. And that's how these idiots wrote, y'all. I'm serious. All the gazettes and all the, oh my goodness. I was like, who are the dummies trying to write our language, man? Who, child? And then we'll finish the rest of that tomorrow. Right there. Is that a banger or what, dude? All right, I'm just jigging a little bit. What did my brother say? Hold on. I'm surprised I haven't received 4 phone calls by now. What is it, brother? This is our brother, Christopher Boston, all right? I'm Traveling Bear. I'll check it out later. I check out everybody's stuff, y'all. And I respond to everybody's stuff. That's right. Jamil White, what's going on, family? All right. So, yeah. What time is it? 1:12. You know what? We're going to read. No, don't worry. I'm not. No. Lana's going to call me. I've been trying to call Rep. But I'm going to come back and I'm probably going to be eating and read these books right here. I know you like the Book of America. Actually, I've been doing videos reading this. I've been going cross-referencing this one with my original one. Look up Kimberly R. Norton. I'm not telling you not to buy the book, but get the original one, not the volumes. It costs a penny. And I still have the money. I've been buying all the books I purchased lately, besides the ones that are coming in still. I just got another note before I went live stating that I was supposed to have 2 more books arriving here soon. And then I told you about the ones that will be arriving Friday. All right, was it next Friday, the 17th? Later on. I purchased all those with my cash. So your stuff is still, I'm not greasy like that. I can't show you my, what you call it, but see right there? It's still there. And then I have stocks and I don't want you to see those. They went down a little bit and I have Bitcoin. All right, so 20 of that I used for that one book. 20 of that I sent. What was that book I bought? Remember the 2 books that I purchased? Well, 2 or 3. I've ordered so many books, dude. I've got a lot, and I love it. I need to put a trust for these books to go to certain people. Anyway, my orders. Okay, I want to make sure we got everything right. I said I'll always share this because I want to make sure you guys know. There's nothing wrong. You can still assist and $5 or $2 because there's a lot of books I want to get. I'm just not going to buy them all like I've been doing. I've got to have it. That's my addiction. I love, where's that? Okay, here we go. I love books. I really do. Here we go. Yeah, okay, it's so small. Why is it doing that? So, arriving January 31st, the real story behind U.S. treaties with Native Americans. Arriving tomorrow by 8 p.m. Dude, DNA of the Gods. Arriving tomorrow by 8 p.m. Wars of the Anakim. Delivered. Yeah, I got that one. I'm waiting on that one. That is, when did I say? February 3rd. That can't be no February 3rd. That sounds all crazy. And what's the other one? Oh, okay, that comes next Friday. And then the other, I'm just looking at all the list of the rivals, what's coming. So I spent a lot of my own for books because that's what I do anyway every month. And yes, I have a crap load of books all over the friggin' place. Usually when people come over, I put them up because I don't like being spectacle. You do, because everybody wants to put their little greasy acidity hands on everything. And you see, you can tell I'm a book fiend, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to read Arthur Koestler's 13th Tribe, the Book of Giants, Enoch. We're finishing up Enoch. The Book of Giants is going to go right with the Book of America. It does. And then we can go on to Tartaria. And there's a bunch of books upstairs that I need to get back into the Civil War. But we all know who Lincoln is now, right? This is more descriptive of all the Civil War members. They were no pale skins. None. And it was not a civil war. Everybody you see in the pictures, those individuals, besides actors in costumes, the majority were made to say something else. They got to see things that you will never see. So it's easy to dissuade and persuade people another way. You dig what I'm saying? Please share this with everybody. Share this. Have people sit down. I hope my language was decent enough for your young ones to be able to listen and watch. And I'll be back in it's about 5:10, right? I'll be back 7. Exactly right at 7 o'clock. I'm going to go and set it up when I get off. Put the time, set up for the time for 7. That way, that 7 o'clock I'm coming on. We're going to read those things. All right, because I got to eat. Okay? Who all came in? I hit Rondo, APJR, Lloyd, Rep Lloyd, Carl, Rondo, Benji, what's cracking? The Perfect Pure, what's going on? Pleasant to be amongst the kindred again always. Oh, man, I appreciate you, man. I love all of y'all, man. Yes, I do. I really do. Y'all know it's a chuma all day, mad love and respect. Always. Just love and respect. I don't have to put mad in front of it. We're not in Jamaica. And though I love my Jamaican, my brethren. He could have left the heat on in the truck. Shut up. 8th grade 7. Wado, what's cracking? What's happening, man? Mama Red, there you go. All right. I was like, where's she at? Where them children's at? And you better not be making not today. Before 2019, pork chuck sandwich would have been fine. That's right. I'm telling you right now. Stop eating beef. I'd rather see you eating pork chop sandwich. I'd rather see you eating no meat at all. Damn, beef is plaqued like a mug. DNA 1, you already know. Don't forget, I always got it. I got one between my butt crack too. Shoot, I keep my granny's eat onions like fruits. Yeah, and people don't and get the benefit, especially with wine. It just goes together. I grew up Montclair, 07042. We had gardens in our home, by our homes. All of us, whether it be in a hollow, 4th Ward, South End, it didn't matter. Even in Storms, a lot of places, brownstones, gardens in the back. All of us. It just went away like when we grew up. I kept gardening though. Whenever I drink liquor, I ate an onion. I always had a yellow or red onion. And I would drink liquor, moonshine, White Lightning, Johnny Jack leg, I never stopped. Mama Tina used to cut them and say, lay down. And when we were sick, and put them on the bottom of our feet. And that big white linen cloth and wrap our feet and put a big old wool sock over them. We sweating like a mom. It went up in my nose. Hold on. Your pain feels so good. You chop that red onion. She put it on the bottom of our damn little ass feet, and she was rough. Mama Tina had them we call them iron skillet hands, the crocodile hand. I'm talking about strong hands for a woman, y'all. And she put that white linen, wrap it up. They didn't use baby powder. I don't know when that started. Put that linen on there and put that big old knitted wool sock, knitted, cotton, wool, whatever. And boy, your feet be just sopping wet. You lose about 2-3 pounds. And you already weigh about 65. You know your little tiny thing. Man, I ain't never forget that. And why haven't I kept up with that? And we get up the next day, get that little red clay with that water, that stream water, swallow it down, get that big old spoon, big old wooden spoon of castor oil and be pooping like crazy. We all running again, playing around. Bee sting, so pee in the hand. You little boy, pee in the hand. Take that dirt, rub it with the pee, and put it on the bee sting. The bee sting will come right out. Get the egg. Y'all don't know, man. I ain't gonna say everything on here because you know this all the little fake voodoo mouth and everybody. I'm not disrespecting, but that's not what it's about. I'm about that life. What was that? You don't get that good no more. Oh, I'll be getting all the good. Once I give it, they all still talking to me now. Because they know they want the good. It's not just good. I'm a baby maker. A super strong baby maker. My son would only know how powerful he is instead of being so damn dumb. He's not dumb. He's actually pretty smart. Him and my daughter. It's beautiful and smart. But they got a weak link teaching them a bunch of nonsense. So you know how that goes. They're grown. 27, 28. Well, they will be here soon. Yeah, March 27 and 28. My oldest son would have been 29. You know, she's about damn near 40, y'all. Well, she's older. In San Francisco. She's leaving there, though. She's going somewhere high in the mountains. So, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Love you guys. Ladies, gents, you already know. Share this. We should have a bigger audience. Like I said, it's only 10%, but maybe I've got the 10% that actually needs to be watching anyway. I'm cool with that. And I'm still gonna go on all about the liars. I don't have to beat them up. We have to watch our language. We don't have to be. And you see, I want y'all to start learning some Spanish or something. God. Learn. It ain't gonna hurt. All right. Here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and set it up. 7 o'clock, okay? I love you guys.